Jay Marantatu. Hello and welcome to Celtic Roots Radio, coming to you today from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Celtic, folk, folk rock, Appalachian, bluegrass, Scottish, Irish, Breton, Cajun. If it's Celtic or roots music you like, you'll find it here on Celtic Roots Radio.
Is a mighty weedy claim, and yet you sat there smiling as my life slid down the drain. And you call yourself a friend, but you're a wolf dressed as a sheep. And when I was down, you stabbed me in my sleep. And so I guess I don't need enemies when I've got friends like you. And you don't know what love is, yet you mention it a lot. One day I think I realised that love's not what you've got. Cause I've listened to your nonsense about love and it's a bore when you're selfish and you're rotten to the core. Oh well, you're selfish and you're rotten to the core. And so I guess I don't need enemies when I've got friends like you. And so I guess I don't need enemies when I've got friends like you. Your welcome mat with your heavy feet, so much that I'd avoid you if I saw you in the street. And sure you talked a good game like a singer sings a song, but the words were lies and we all sang along. La 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 la. And so I guess I don't need enemies when I've got friends like you. And so I guess I don't need enemies when I've got friends like you. Well, I guess I don't need enemies when I've got friends like you.
And well to go, Mike. Are you keeping all right? Welcome to yet another Celtic Roots Radio show. I'm Raymond McCullough in Belfast, with an orlock of great new music, and a wee taste of crack too from myself. As usual, we started the show off with something kind of lively. Friends Like You, from Donnelly in New York, USA. Our show this week is sponsored once again by my latest book, which is based on earlier episodes of this show and called A Wee Taste of Crack. All the Irish crack from the popular Celtic Roots Radio shows 2 to 25. You can buy it now in paperback and Kindle editions from Amazon.com, Amazon Canada, UK, Germany or France. I'm sure you know someone who'd really love a wee taste of crack as a present. More info at preciousoil.com or on our Celtic Roots Radio website, celticrootsradio.com. And check out our Celtic Roots Cafe network, where you'll find information about our artists and bands, music videos, photos, forum posts and the blog. Just click the cafe button on our main website, celticrootsradio.com. And if you like the crack on our shows, you can read it on our Celtic Roots Crack blog. Find it on the podcast page at celticrootsradio.com, or indeed, buy the new book. Keep in touch with us through email, Facebook message, Twitter or our cafe site. And do go to your local iTunes store and review the show for us. Drop us a wee email to let us know in case we miss it. You'll find all of our podcasts on iTunes. Just enter Raymond McCullough into the search box. And remember, in between our podcast shows, you can listen to Celtic Roots Radio all day long, complete with all the crack from myself, on our 24/7 Live 365 station. Find that on our website too. We're listening now to the sweet Colleens from Michigan, USA, with a tune called The Terrible Twos Step.
trees and the breeze falls cold. But I found this lonely street on my own, and I'm so far from home. So come all you lads of leisure, patrons of worthy measure, let's share a drink and forget to think tonight, for it's the last time we meet. Things have changed from where I was when cigarettes and booze with love between. The kindness of strangers when you live on the streets, and all the friends we made. So come all you lads of leisure, patrons of worthy measure, let's share a drink and forget to think tonight, for it's the last time we meet. Well, the sun will shine on that open road. It's on a journey but nowhere to go. So fill up a lot before it beats you down, 'cause Lord knows that happens too soon. So come all you lads of leisure, patrons of worthy measure, let's share a drink and forget to think tonight, for it's the last time we meet.
That was the last time we meet from the Vandon Arms in Iowa, USA. The clocks have changed and it's getting dark quite early these days. There's a queer change in the evenings. But strangely enough, despite all the dire predictions from the weathermen of prolonged sub-zero weather, we've actually been experiencing warmer temperatures than we had during our so-called summer earlier this year. We haven't really had a proper frost yet. It just goes to show you what it shows you. You can never predict the weather in Ireland. It's always got a wee surprise in store for you. Mind you, mild as it's been, we've certainly been having more than our fair share of rain. Minging is a good Belfast description of it. That means it stinks. Or you could say it's been putrid. It's been coming down in bucketfuls or bucketing with rain. Or it's teeming down out there. I was getting some work done to my car the other day, and the radio in the garage was playing fairly quietly. I was only able to hear it because it was standing right by the speaker. A good summary of the weather forecast for the next day would have been, well, it's not going to rain the whole day. My mother used to use a great expression for a downpour, she'd say. By the looks of it, I'd say we're in for a right thunder plump. Usually when it rains here, it's not that heavy. We'll say, there's a wee bit of a mizzle, or sure, it's only spitting a wee bit, or the weather's a bit soft today. We're used to rain, but the wind now can take us unawares. When it gets up a bit, we might be heard to say, there's a wind out there with clean corn. That's another one my mother was fond of. Or maybe, that wind would cut clean through you. In Irish, you might say, Tommy fuair agus fleach, I'm cold and wet. A discussion about holidays might start. Were you away anywhere of the year? Aye, we were in Spain for 10 days, so we were. Right, what sort of weather did you get over there? Like, it was dead on, so it was. Nice and warm, like. As I've said before, we're not that well geared up for extremes of temperature. When it freezes, we're foundered. And when it's unseasonably warm, we're boiled or melted. And the winter weather in this part of the world is mostly just desperate altogether. This is Jocelyn Pettit from British Columbia, Canada, and a tune called Late for the Feast.
must have been once in the sun. In days that were finer, you know she was once in the sun. There used to be a house, there used to be a home, there used to be a place to call her own. There used to be a house, there used to be a home, there used to be a place to call her own. She'll ask you for a quarter, then bless you on your way. Every day. If you cannot spare one, she'll thank you just the same. Every day. And if you stop for a moment, she'll smile and she'll speak and tell you summer's too hot and the winter's too cold for the street. There used to be a house, there used to be a home, there used to be a place to call her own. There used to be a house, there used to be a home, there used to be a place to call her own. And when the evening falls, I'm sure her mind wanders back to a brighter day. And just for a moment she can drift away. She's just like you and me. Stopped to pet her doggies, ask her how she was today. She said, I'm okay. You know I'm only trying to live from day to day. I guess I'm okay. I drive myself nuts if I took this too seriously. It just doesn't seem right, but for now this is how it must be. There used to be a house, there used to be a home, there used to be a place to call her own. There used to be a house, there used to be a home, there used to be a place to call her own. There used to be a house, there used to be a home, there used to be a place to call her own. To call her
That was Lisa Brigantino from New York City, USA, and Used to Be a House. Some of the expressions that we would use without thinking here would leave outsiders totally flummoxed. Listening to somebody trying to control a child or two can be very entertaining. Like, would you catch yourselves on, running around there like a hen on a hot griddle? Quit your bullocking about or I'll give us a clut around the lug hole so well. As you're doing my head in when you're acting a maggot there. Or if a child happens to be climbing too high, get down out of that before you fall and kill yourself. The word look usually gets pronounced as luck. Look what you're doing there, or look after yourself now. Not to be confused with the word lock, meaning a lot, as in there were a lot of boys hanging around tonight, so there were. Or a lot of people wouldn't even bore with that. Or if you had a right lot of money you could do a whole lot of things. When it comes to phrases to express someone's cleverness, or the lack of it, we aren't short of a few. Have a wee titter of wit there now, or he hasn't an ounce of sense, has he? There's more brains in my boot now, so there is. Some people haven't the sense they were born with, or he's a few stories short of a bungalow. Watching somebody make a house of a job, we might comment, aye, if you'd brains it'd be dangerous. Alternatively, you might hear, your man's no dozer, is he? Or, if he was any sharper he'd cut himself. And, do you think I came up the lagging in a bubble? When asked if we were able to do something, we might reply, dead on, no problem, or, ach, no bar, or perhaps, aye, wee buns. In other words, it'll be dead easy. If somebody calls in unexpectedly for a brief visit, you'll probably ask him, will you take a wee cup of tea? To which they'll probably make some excuse, so you'll say, sure, go on, I've the tea already wet. How can you refuse, eh? We've been listening to Dimo Michev from Bulgaria and a tune called Celtic Way.
Gun shake there the sun, ach shake dar bar versen gun ta, sa chujel gun chreve gulere na gain. Ho da lo he, ho da lo he, ho da lo he, chavo nach komalum gaken. Gashe geware rak vouwe moefach, gaat jeetje me van alles genagemen rot. Get jede dag regar carriage day ost, his fate is toch afis gevaartje stop. Ho da lo he, ho da lo he, ho da lo. Gun de hui mi go sachrach sam bato am wai, skun gla mi jachat die goer sachen am jaun. Garo te werden nog geen nach ik borsten aan, skun de we die gewach geen man gas gschinnen waan. Ho da lo he, ho da lo he.
That was Andrew McFayden, another artist from British Columbia, Canada, and a very Scottish flavoured song, Oran the Ghaiseadh of Bharra. I'm going to leave you with a powerful song from Phyllis Sinclair in Alberta, Canada. This is the Manicure. All the best now. Slant.
Standing in the checkout line, she pulled her cart up next misunderstand. I've given them the best care that I could. Though they've never had a life of ease, never pampered, I can guarantee they're the reason that I stand here with my pride. My life has been their manicure, shaped by service through the years. It's taken a life of living to get my hands to look like this. It's taken a life of living to get my hands to look like this. Leather cracked and wrinkled from working hard. I must admit I know they're not too much to look upon. Never soak them in a fine salon. It's taken a life of living to get my hands to look like this. It's taken a life of living to get my hands to look like this.
Well, that's all we have time for on this show. Remember, you can find out more information about the artists and songs played on the show on our website at celticrootsradio.com. And if you're an independent artist and you'd like to hear your music played on this show, again, you'll find details on our website. That's celticrootsradio.com. Tune in again next week to Celtic Roots Radio. I'm Raymond McCullough, coming to you from Ireland. Slán agus Banagia.